Aviation history, and today, 3rd December 2025, on this same day, 3rd December 1945, precisely about 80 years ago, the US Army Air Force Douglas crashed in Corrientes, Argentina, and we will be looking at the details surrounding the crash and the key facts I've been able to gather from the archive and all those things. We'll discuss it together in this video. So basically, before we move on, in case you are new here, welcome to Foskaay Aviation. I'm Foskaay, not a pilot, just an aviation fan and enthusiast, and bringing this to you, looking back in history. So basically, this is a kind of representation of the plane that I was able to find, because actually the C-47B is like a derivation of the DC-3. So the DC-3, I think, yeah, it should be like DC-3 or MC-3. So like converted from normal commercial use to military use. So, and what were going on at that point in time, what happened to those crew on board this plane and all those things, we'll quickly now analyze it together. So let's get on to learn more about the event. First, we'll look at this happened December 3rd, 1945, when the plane was en route. The time not really known. The type of plane involved was Douglas C-47B-5-DK, which DC-3, and also referred to as military sky train then. So that's the reg number. Operator is the United States Army Air Force. So occupants at the time that this happened was 14, which comprises of 5 crew members and 9 passengers. So, but tragically, all were fatal, sustained fatal injury, no survivor at all on that crash. So some of those involved were later revealed, like pilot Oville Michelson, and passenger like Dewart, who happened to be a U.S. ambassador, I think embassy legal attaché at that point in time. So, and this is the pilot, though it's been years ago, but at least are still with families. Many of them are already even grandpas and gone. So this was the said pilot of the plane, and I was able to get this, I think, from Wikipedia as well, some of the modification, how they are inside at that time. So maybe later we'll try to see if I can zoom some of it in for you. So if we look at this, so let's get on back to learn more what really went wrong. In terms of fatality, there were total of 14, as we said, on board, and sadly all of them perished. None was said to have survived the crash. So the aircraft damage as well was totally destroyed, totally written off. The location of the accident was said to be like around 16 kilometers southeast of Carlos Pellegrini, Corrientes province. So feed where Iberá Lagoon. So I try to, I always try to follow some of those to give an idea. I may not be able to pinpoint the specific location of the crash, but at least we can learn and have a better idea where the location. I'm coming back to this map, so the countries involved and things like that, will check it together in the map. So where this, and the flight was military transport from Asuncion which is the capital of Paraguay, to Montevideo, which airport, which is now renamed as Carrasco International Airport, and that is also located, that's the capital of Uruguay. So it's like flying between Paraguay capital airport in the capital to Uruguay capital. So that's what the flight ought to be. Weather was major storm, so there was like violent thunderstorm after they took off with heavy rain and turbulence and things like that, which can disrupt navigation and communication. So like that, so that was part of what eventually contributed to the crash. So what happened then, they said there was a last radio call with a route change near Mont Caseros, Corrientes, sorry for the name pronunciation, to Pelotas, Brazil. So you will understand this because at a point in time, it's like their route is being diverted from where it ought to be going, which is from Paraguay to Uruguay. So, or Uruguay. So, but then something happened with storm and things, and seems diverted. And after that, they vanish off the radar. And after a while, there wasn't much, observe, and you can imagine the years then. A lot of these things, technology we have now, tracking sites, all those things are not like it is today. So no much is known except for the fact that after they expected them to have landed, the arrival time, they didn't arrive. That's when like there will likely have been something wrong. So they search alert after missed arrival. Then they searched for almost like 4 days, nothing until December 7th, where they found by highway patrol in Iberá Lagoon area just the crash, the plane crashed, something, debris and things like that they saw. And when they trace everything, they discover all on board were dead. So the investigation was limited World War II era then, and the primary cause they attributed the crash to was the storm, because don't forget we said during the weather there was major storm, and once they are engulfed within the storm, they lost radio contact, and that was the last time they heard about them. So let's have an idea of this. So that's why before I zoom in, we need to understand this is Argentina, this is Uruguay, this is Paraguay, and keep this also, this is Brazil, and I think Brazil extend all through around here, where you have Uruguay here and Paraguay and something around this, the Argentina, and some part of them extend here bordering Paraguay and as well Uruguay here and Brazil here. So let's now zoom in to see. So the flight actually took off from Asunción, which is Paraguay capital, and it's meant to fly in to Montevideo, which is the Uruguay capitals. You can see it on the map. Yeah, this normally the flight ought to be, but eventually it didn't get, maybe midway the storm and everything, weather wasn't favorable, and that was how it lost and begin to remember from that course. He said the last radio reported is diverting to Brazil. So you cannot have the understanding, because it's now like going this way, which is like getting out of the path, which like Paraguay to Argentina airway and then to Uruguay, but now it's like going the direction of Brazil. So let's have a zoom in into the area of the location I was able to pinpoint. So this is the lagoon. They said they found it I think southeast of, so this the actual lagoon itself, Laguna Iberá or something, and this is where I was able to pinpoint based on the archive and research I did. So it doesn't mean I'm right. I'm not saying I'm giving you precise, but just I believe it gives some at least rough estimate idea to have idea of, okay, this is where the plane departed from, this is where it ought to land, arrival, but eventually like midway it crashed in Argentina. So that's what I was able to put together on it. So it's your turn now. Share your own view on this. At times history like this could have different versions, so I'm also open to any correction or update and things in the comment. So that's it for this video. Watch other video, and please remember to always do good to humanity and nature anywhere you are, to make the world and universe a better place for us all. I remain Foskaay. See you in the next episode of Aviation History on this day. That's tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.